Where are we? Right here. Now, where is that? Oh, I know why. How is everyone doing? Let me, let's see, save that. All right, let's get up here instead. There we go. Hey, how's everyone doing? My name is Kurt. I'm at Daddy Draws, and this is our Monday afternoon live. We always get together Monday afternoons, and we draw a landscape or seascape, something that has to do with just anything outdoors. It could even be indoors. Anyway, so today we're going to take a look at windmills, and I have two different windmills I want to look at. This first one here, and then we got another one that's surrounded by trees, and it's quite beautiful. So we're going to put most of our time on the other one, but let's start by warming up with drawing this one. Now this windmill is more of a square format. What this will do is really help you understand how to draw a building, or this is my approach to drawing buildings. So let's get into it. Look at that. Betsy is right up there, ready to bat and have at it. Let's do this, okay? So typically when I'm drawing a building, I like to draw it from from an angle. So it usually means then that the corner of a building is closest to me. And so in this case, let me add an extra little color here that I can reference. I'm going to change that to green, I think. So like this corner of the building is closest to me. So that's the corner I want to start off with. So I'm going to just kind of put a vertical line there just for that exact corner. Now let's get the far two corners that are much further away from us, and they're going to be back here. It's going to be this one and this one, right? But let's pay special close attention to this distance and this distance, you see? So let me come in here, and I got my one vertical there. I'm going to come over here and, okay, so there's this. I've got this area right there, you see? Now let's check this side out, and look how much closer they are, okay? It's almost like half, meaning it's like if I come over here, it's almost like there, just something like that maybe. If I was drawing a corner or a cube, I might, if this was coming right at the horizon line, it might be something like this. Watch this first. This is going back, and then maybe it's going back like that. You see that? And then this side might be shaded. Now, the thing is, the bottom of this cube is right at eye level. That's why it's so flat. If it went below eye level, it might end up like this. But that's right at eye level. And I think our windmill here is about the same. So let's just go ahead and just kind of drop that bottom just like that. It might be slightly like this. Okay, let's come up here to that point right there, and we're just gonna, I'm just gonna kind of come up and right about there maybe. So that bottom there, that's going back to a vanishing point. This is going back to that same vanishing point, and the top here, look at all three of these, A, B, and C, those are all going to converge on a vanishing point way off to the right. So we kind of established this one here. Look at that, just like that. All right, let's kind of come down like this. And then maybe somewhere up here, look at this. That's going to go back to the same vanishing point as well. All right, this right here, this is going back to a vanishing point. Hey, Brandon, how are you, my friend? All right. There's the front. There's the front of our windmill. Now, I just noticed something as I'm drawing this. Look at, if I put a point right there, you see? Look at that angle. You see that angle? And I have neglected to get that angle right. So let me erase this here. Let me erase this right here. Oop, wrong color. Okay, that's much better. That makes a big difference. In order to find the peak right there, in order to find the peak of that, we got to find the center of the square. So check this out. Here's a square. I'm looking straight at it. If I want to find the center, I'm going to take a line across the corners, and there's the center of that square. Well, the same trick works in perspective. So here, very lightly, I could do this, and I could do this right there, and there is the center, just like that. Oh, nice, Brandon. My day's going well. Just busy. Monday is always like the super busy day for me. It's busy to the point where sometimes I get stressed. But you know what? You just kind of get up and you take one task at a time, right? I mean, there's no other way to do it. All right, so from that center point of that box, I drop a line and go straight up to the top there. Now, you could have just put that line there, and then once you establish where that line is, then you could come back and like, okay, how high up is the peak? And you can make a guess, an estimate right there. And then when you go down the top part of the roof there, you want to make sure that all of these things will all converge to the same point. Okay, now we could connect the corners here. Boom, just like this, and just like that. We can take this angle here, and we're going to repeat that, right? Like that, something like that. So if I was to draw that from the side, from a front view, what I've just done is kind of drawn this shape in perspective. Hey Jan, what's going on? So the one thing on our windmill needs though, look at this. It actually has this little bit of a roof. So we could sit here and technically kind of work that out in the detail, but I'm just going to kind of fake it just a little bit, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. So we're going to just extend a little bit right there. We're going to come down the other side just like that. We're going to put in a little shadow there. I'm kind of eyeballing this right now. Then we're going to come back and we're going to come beyond that roof just a little bit there. And there we go. There's a quick way that we add a roof to this. Okay, let's get rid of these green things. Okay, check this out now. The center point of that windmill is toward the top. You see that? And it's going to be in the center of the building. So we could use this straight line again, and we're going to come right about there. And then the windmill part is off of the building ever so slightly, so you could actually see this. It kind of has a square. You see this? Something like this. And once again, you could use the X there, and there's the center of that square. You see? I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so we can get the blades in. I don't know. I think those are the blades. Okay, let's do this. Let's freehand this, and let's get rid of this, or just kind of move it out of the way. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get some of the straights that are coming off of this windmill here. So starting at the center, I'm going to just kind of come out here. I'm going to kind of guess. I'm going to guess the distance. There's one for you right there, just like this. And this is interesting. Now I've drawn mine. Look, I've drawn mine in this direction, but this is in this direction. You see the difference? And that's because the center is a little bit higher than what mine is. My center is down just a little bit. That's why there's a little bit of a difference there. But it doesn't matter. You could put yours wherever you want. Just as long as you stay consistent. So we've got that one there. All right, so let's come up here and just kind of guesstimate. We're going to be right there maybe. So then we got 4 more in here, and I'm just 1, 2, hold on, it's getting caught up there. All right, so let's see, 1, 2, let's see, 3, maybe right about there. Let's come down here, get the ones below it. I'm really looking at the picture here, trying to get these about the right length. There's one here. One maybe there, and then one going right over there. And of course, these are all have some type of wire, which I don't know how it works if it doesn't have any blades. How does that catch the wind, right? And then let's just, one last thing, let's add a little bit of tone over here, and then let's jump to our next building, all right? So there you go. There's a quick overview of drawing, oh, great, perspective, excellent. Well, stick to us. Stick with it, Brandon. I'll get you there. It will come together, I guarantee it. Why are you drawing a giant? I don't know. I'm not sure what that Christus, I'm not sure what that means. I wish I was a drawing giant. I wish I had a bazillion followers on YouTube, huh? But I don't. That's the way the Lord would have it. Or that's the way that I'm doing my videos, that they're just not that interesting. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. I persevere, right? We all persevere, and that's what I'm doing. All right, let's get a nice square here. On that note, that would be awesome if you all could like the video, subscribe to it, and yeah, let me know in the comments something that you'd like to get better at when it comes to drawing. Okay, let's come down here, and we've got our little picture, our little frame. This is about 3 by 5, I bet. I don't have my ruler near me. But let's get that ground plane here, just like this. Boom, just like that. Look how easy that is. You could do that. And then this windmill is more of a cone shape, or it's a pyramid shape, which both of those shapes are shapes that you should really master at drawing. So the cone is easy. You know, the cone shape is like this. We come down on either side, and then you got to curve that around. That's a really important shape to master. Then you have a pyramid shape, and a pyramid shape is going to be like this. You might start it off with 2 dots like this, and then extend those 2 dots further out, and now you just kind of connect those. Look at that, just like that. Almost like a diamond shape. Then we put a point up top there, and there's your pyramid shape. 2 different shapes. You need to master both of these things. You want to be able to draw these in your sleep, upside down. Try and spin them in your head, and try and see them from all sides. That is really important. Okay, so with that being said, let's come down here and draw the base, and then let's come up here, and this is about going to about halfway in the page, I think. There's one side. There's the other side. Now, over here in the example, I put that center, like dead center, but that's not the case in this windmill. Look, let's just come over here and push that a little bit to the right, just like that. Oh, great, Brandon. I'm really glad to hear that. You know, perspective is, yeah, if I try and, here's perspective for you. I think when you learn perspective in school, you approach perspective more from a mechanical standpoint. But what I like to do is, because I'm going to draw from a picture or a reference, I like to flip it. So I think of I approach it from, here's my picture, how does perspective work with my picture, versus the opposite, where I'm working with something blank. I hope that makes sense. So that's how I approach it, and I think it's far more practical for us as artists than someone who's a drafts person or something like that. I remember back in school, we had a great perspective teacher. He really, I just really appreciated him. And his name was Ted Yunkin. And he he kind of approached it in the way that he approached it from um, from a more mechanical point of view, and but then he would encourage us to draw it from the way that I try and teach it. So it was an interesting mix, but that was somebody that I really appreciated him immensely over the years. He had this thing of taking cocktail napkins and would draw these beautiful buildings. He would draw these beautiful buildings on cocktail napkins all the time, and yeah, it's no, he just understood the mechanics of perspective. And if you stick with me, I will do the same for you. I'll show you how to do it, mainly using a perspective grid. But maybe next week we'll use a grid, and I'll help you in that regard. Okay, so here we're continuing on our picture here. Let's go ahead and drop a little bit of a tone on this side of our windmill. And I'm going to ignore this little building right here. We're going to ignore it because I want to spend some time drawing these trees. And I don't want to run out of time on that. All right, there's a rough guess of where the center of the other side is. So let's come down here and look at this. And we have this little doorway here. See that? And then up here is like all wood. So let's add a little tone here. And that means we're going to have to make this tone on this side a little bit darker. Yeah, I always when you are drawing a building, Brandon, to your point, I just think it's important. Find the corner, find the sides first, get the distance, and then get the top and bottom. Just seems to be a much easier approach. Okay, look at this. We've got if you look closely, there's a beam coming here. There's a beam coming here. I bet you there's one here. And there's a railing up here. Here's an interesting little thing I like to do. If I'm going to draw a line, like going across, a lot of times I like to start dark, and then as I pull away, I go lighter, and then right where it's going to go, I put a little dot here. Let me show you over here. Go dark, pull up, and then hit a little mark over here. This kind of line variation makes it so interesting because your line is tapered, and then you put a little dot for an ending point. Tapered, and then a little dot where it comes. Tapered, and a little dot. All right, I'm going to put some rails. Look at that. Rails up there. Look at those values. We gotta bump up the values. Bump up the values. Get those sharp value differences. All right, look, there's there's one end right there. Okay, so let's kind of guess about where that's going to be. So if we come down here, I'm going to look, it's going to be right about there. I'm kind of seeing where that end is in comparison to the end of the railing. That's what I'm doing. All right, let's go up here, and I'm going to keep my eye on that center. Bam, bam, just coming up here. And about right about there, maybe a little further out. Okay, let's get the next one in. And when I'm drawing straight lines, I like to draw them from left to right. And this movement, I try and keep my wrist stiff, and then I'm moving from my elbow and my shoulder, and I'm just kind of like going straight across. So if that's the case, because this is a weird angle, I'm going to take my paper, and if you're working in a sketchbook, just spin it around, all right, to where you can get that angle right. Don't worry about it. Just spin it around so you get a nice straight line. All right, let's come in here and get these blades. There's one. Okay, this is going to be about here. And I'm going to spin my paper again. There's another one. That might have gotten too big on me, but I'm just going to roll with it. Oops. Okay. I just had a very random thought, but looking at this picture, I thought, oh, that would be a great. I don't know why I thought this. That would be a great ride. I was thinking like, oh, look at that, I made a mistake. Oh no, I'm okay. I was just thinking of like if you had a ride at Disneyland or Disney World or at a theme park, like the haunted windmill, right? And you had this gigantic windmill up on a hill, and you had to make your way. Wouldn't that be like a fun, scary ride? I don't know why I thought of that. Okay, there's our windmill. We got that down. Wow, isn't that exciting? Looks awesome. Let's go ahead then, and we've got now 3 things to add to this drawing. Mainly is these 3 layers of trees. We've got the trees in the background, the trees right next to the windmill, and the trees in the foreground. So let's start with our background trees. And I'm just going to quickly, look at this. I'm going to quickly draw them, just try and get a contour of the shape of them, like this. And then I'm going to come in and add a tone, just a tone like this. All right, there's my tone. Now, I do want to point something out to you that's so important. Look at the value. Look how, let me come up here to higher level. Look at the value. Look how dark that is inside that circle there. Now look at the value of right there at the lighthouse. Look how dark the ones in the background are compared to that side of the lighthouse. Okay, so that means we really have got to go dark on these trees. Don't go full black yet, but just definitely make it black enough and get a nice sharp edge right on the edge there. Look at that. That's much better. All right, then looking carefully. Now this is the important part. Everything I say is important, but look at the pattern. You see, I'm starting to come in here with super dark value. I'm looking at the pattern of the tree here. Hi, sweetheart. All right, keep going. We got this. Let's add some more back here, just like this. And I'm really putting some of the dark values right next to the lighthouse, right next to the windmill. This is going to create contrast and cause my windmill to pop off the page. We're dealing with, you're dealing with construction. That means construction, we're using perspective at that point, and then we start adding value. Value is the most important thing after you get your construction down. Value, and then the two things after value, you'd fall into detail or texture and color, right? Get your values right. If you get the values right, then your color and texture won't be as important. But if you get your values wrong, it's going to set everything. It's going to send everything south. So, value is so important. All right, let's come in here and get the outline of this tree here. That's like in the foreground, right? And it's like coming here like this. Look at this beautiful tree. It's coming down somewhere like this, right? Now, look at in this tree. Now, this is what I mean by value. Look at if it's not allowed to ask her, could you send reference photos later? Yes, absolutely. Brandon, the reference photos, Brandon, I'm not sure if you're part of our Facebook group, but I did put this photo in with the link. If not, just feel free to email me at kurtaspland.com, and I will send that to you. Okay. So looking at this tree to the left, look at the dark values in that tree, and they're kind of like right. Let me change my color so you can see it. They're kind of in that region right there. But this is what I want you to do. I want you to compare those to the dark value down here, you see? So those dark values of this tree that's in the midground is lighter than the ones in the background. So we've got to be aware of that. So let's come in here, go in light, come in here light. Probably shouldn't have drawn that background, but that's okay. All right. And then in here, now this is where we're going to add a little bit darker value for the shadowed area, and take some time to get this right. And look at this, I'm even taking it right up to the outline there, kind of blending that in. I'm looking closely. This is where you've got to observe now. Look closely at our reference. Really look closely at it. If you're Brandon, if you're, I'm assuming you're already part of our Facebook group, which is a great something to bring up here. If you are looking for a place to hang out with other artists, we have a great Facebook group that I manage. It's just go onto Facebook, search for beginning drawing, learn to draw, and it'll show up. Also, you'll find it in the description of this video. Just hit that link, join up with us, and you can have access to all of these, all of the references I give, and it can be very, very helpful. So check that out. Okay, look at this. Now let's keep going here. So let's come over here to the left side, and once again, look at this. We've got another tree here. So let's go through here very carefully and add. Look at this. Add just kind of a contour line. Contour means that you're following the outline of an object. And typically when we're thinking of foreground, background, a lot of times the object that is darker in value is usually closer to us. That's not always the case, especially in this, you have those background trees that are pretty dark, but nonetheless, you do have this tree that's up close to us, and to make the drawing more believable, look at this. I'm just going to go in here and almost make this like a silhouette. Oh, great. Good to hear that. Also, the other thing too is I have available, if you're watching this for the first time and you need extra help or really want to excel at drawing, I have a class called the Daily Draw, and we get together every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, for about 30 minutes, and we go over all these different aspects of drawing, and it will really help you not only improve, but it helps you to improve because of the consistency, and I really instill the importance of a daily ritual of drawing. In addition to those two things, you'll find yourself get better because every day of the week we look at something different. Mondays we look at natural things. Tuesdays we look at things that are man-made. Wednesdays we look at portrait. Thursdays character design, and Fridays animals. So it's called the Daily Draw. Check out the comments when we're done, and I will give a link of where you could join us for the Daily Draw. So check that out. Okay. Let's get some, look, you got also some trees that are hanging low up here. Look at this. Boom, there's some, and I'm just kind of looking closely at the reference there and just getting in some branches coming down. Look at that. Just a little bit there. And then last thing, we have this this field. So let's not leave that field blank. Let's kind of grab our inner Van Gogh. And I mean that when I say Van Gogh, because he had a habit of drawing fields, of just using like textural paint or or lines to describe form. So let's just come in here maybe, and one thing I'm doing is I'm leaving kind of this, look, I'm leaving this pathway, and you could kind of see it in the picture. And I light. One other thing I want to do is just kind of add some very light or faint outline of maybe these clouds here. And it's a little bit different than the picture. I made one big cloud up front here, and then there's going to be a skinnier one in the back. Look at that. Wow. That just, if that's not exciting, I'm not sure. I try and make this exciting. I just think that is something beautiful, and like I said, I just want you to enjoy drawing, trying to get better at it. Is a very difficult thing to do. So these things don't come easily. They come with a lot of hard work, and I'll tell you, once you'll know it, your confidence will slowly grow, and then when it does, you get to a certain point, and it's just, instead of it being rough all the time, or you feel like you're constantly trying to remember things will really kind of set in, and you could just kind of flow with it. Think of almost someone who's able to play the piano by ear. They just kind of play, and they look like they're enjoying it, and that's kind of where I want to get you at drawing. Okay? Hey, thanks for tuning in today. My name is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws now. Go out there, make your day great. Betsy and Brandon, thanks for chiming in. And Christus, it's always good to have anyone live. It makes it a lot more fun. All right, see you guys later.